Tonight, a Friday night, the Fish and the Pirates. This is game 2 of the final series of the season. You can see the Marlins need to win all 3 games remaining to get themselves to 500. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. The Marlins winners last night. And Tommy, for the Fish, a team that had dropped 12 of 16 coming in, played awful on the road trip. To get the win last night, you could see that it really lifted the club's spirits.
Yeah, it was a little bit like pulling teeth, Phil, with a 10-2 lead and then all of a sudden 11-9 win. But it's a good way to start this series, to finish the season, 1 down, 3 to go.
And for teams that aren't headed to the postseason, like the Marlins and the Pirates, you start thinking about next year. And last night gave you a little, sneak peek at next year. 3 young kids who are having tremendous seasons.
Yeah, it was great to see because these 3 young guys had been struggling a little bit too. Logan Morrison had himself a base hit. How about Mike Stanton's night? And Gabby Sanchez with a sac fly got things going. He had a couple of hits. Lomo had 3 in the game. Stanton hit one off the benches and the seats out there in deep center field for a 3-run shot. Stanton had a 5 RBI night. Lomo with another triple. He has 6 on the year. And how about Stanton? He has an 8-game hitting streak. Logan Morrison leads the club in triples with 6. And Gabby Sanchez leads a lot of the rookies in the National League in a whole bunch of categories. Just checking one of the other stats on Stanton. His batting average now is at .259. He's got a chance to get it over .260.
Marlins bullpen didn't fare all that well last night, but they did get a solid start from Chris Volstad. Hoping tonight, certainly are the Fish, that Adalberto Mendez bounces back from what was his roughest start of his brief Major League career.
You know, I remember you and I talking to Edwin Rodriguez about Mendez before that start, and he was hoping to get 5-6 innings. It didn't work. He went 2 innings, gave up 6 hits and 6 runs. Hopefully he'll have better command in this one tonight.
This was supposed to be a Paul Maholm start for the Pirates, but instead he has a knee and was scratched late last night. Daniel McCutchen, a right-hander, gets the go.
Yeah, instead of the left-hander Maholm, a couple of changes in the lineup. It's the former draft pick of the New York Yankees, Daniel McCutchen. Throws a little bit harder than Maholm, and he also throws from the right side.
McCutchen and Mendez, Pirates and Fish, a very special night for a certain Marlins fan. And we'll have it for you when we return. Moving forward, and by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Marlins and Pirates. Let's get things started down below. Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine. Gentlemen.
All righty. Thank you very much, Rich. With Niner here, we're going to talk about what was a real great night last night for a young kid named Jake Nicoletto from Plantation Niners, part of the Joe DiMaggio Children's Foundation. Some money raised through the Marlins, yourself, and tell me all about it, because it was a great story.
Yeah, we had an auction at the Pinecrest School where my kids go to school, and the Fathers Club there sponsored an auction, and 2 families ended up bidding on a package that I had here for the Marlins, and you know what? They all got together. The 2 families got together, and they decided to give it to a patient at Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, which is Jake Nicoletto here, and a huge Marlins fan, and he came out yesterday and was able to get a bunch of autographs. They set up a locker for him in the clubhouse. He got a jersey. You see him wearing it there, and you know, just the look on his face when he and his family came into the ballpark was priceless. And he threw a strike. Look at that.
Great arm.
Great arm.
And tonight, the Florida Marlins Community Foundation, on behalf of Fox Sports Florida, making a presentation and donating a check for $5,000 to the founders of the Love Gen Fund at the Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. That's Dr. Nick and Wendy Macy there, just off to the right of the screen, gentleman in the black polo-type shirt. And the doctor joined us on the pregame show to talk a little bit more about that. He's a guy you know pretty well from all your charity work there. A great man who, unfortunately, their family lost their youngster to cancer, and in her memory, they've set up this great Child's Fund, huh?
It's an amazing place. The Macy's do an amazing job there at the Children's Hospital, and you know, from top to bottom, from CEO to the nurses, it's a place they treat everybody like family, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege to be involved with them for a long time.
Well, you know, young Jake will be watching his fish tonight as they go for the victory and try to make it 2 in a row over the Pittsburgh Pirates. We'll have the action in the call with Rich Waltz and Tommy Hutton coming up here live from Sun Life Stadium. Game 2 of the series next.
Guy leads it off in center. Jose Tabata is in left. Neil Walker is at second. Pedro Alvarez drove in 5 runs last night. John Bowker is at first base. Brandon Moss, a couple of hits last night. Ronnie Cedeno, the shortstop, he homered in last night's ballgame. Chris Snyder hits 8th. And Daniel McCutchen is in the 9 position. Adalberto Mendez gets ready to face Andrew McCutchen. And Mendez fires in a strike. McCutchen, oddly, on a night where the Pirates scored 9 runs, was 0 for 4 last night. This is a guy that
is living up to a nice rookie year last year. He's followed it up with a solid season this year.
Well, he has. You look at those numbers, and you add 33 stolen bases to that as well.
And he fouls that one back to the screen.
One thing, Rich, that we saw in Adalberto Mendez in a couple of his outings where he pitched well, we didn't see in Milwaukee.
Driven to right, Mike Stanton at the 5, and he's into the end zone and makes the catch.
We didn't see him getting ahead and putting away hitters just like that.
Here's the Marlins defensively.
All right, there's Morrison, Bonifacio. Bonnie getting the start again in center field with Stanton in right. Chad Tracy at third base. Ozzie Martinez. Dan Uggla, Gabby Sanchez around the infield. Brad Davis handles Adalberto Mendez.
Mendez, 28, out of the Dominican Republic. Long-time minor leaguer for the Cubs. Marlins snatched him in the minor league Rule 5 draft. And he pitched for 3 seasons in the Marlins minor league system. And he was a reliever almost his entire career. He racked up 83 saves and made just 20 starts.
Pretty amazing when you think about it. Here's a guy making his 5th start in the major leagues. And 2 years ago, he was closing games in Jupiter in the Florida State League. He had 29 saves that year.
Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball, fly ball. Stanton. Another post pattern out there. Don't you think Mike feels comfortable down there, Tommy, the former corner wide receiver?
Yeah, he's trying to, as he's making that grab, he's trying to set up blockers in front of him.
Any good defensive back has to know where the hash marks are. And the field obviously lined for football, Monday Night Football here, as the Marlins finish their season on Sunday. So Jose Tabata flies to right, and here is Neil Walker. Walker has had an impressive rookie campaign. The Pirates have some position pop, some guys that have come up a couple months into the season and have performed well. Walker is one of those. He's just a point under 300. This is game number 108 for the former Pittsburgh area high school phenom.
Yeah, I'm sure his goal is to try to get to that 300 mark and finish there for the season. Helped himself a little bit last night. He was 2 for 5.
Mendez with a good live fastball, and it's 2-2. And the Pirates at 56 and 103. They have clinched the worst record in the National League. And the worst record in all of baseball, for that matter. And their road record is one that is pretty jaw-dropping. John Russell has been outmanned in his tenure in Pittsburgh. This is his 3rd season. The Pirates are just 16 and 62 on the road. And when you first look at that, you think it must be a typo. As we discussed last night, was it just 5 second-half road wins?
Yeah, and they're 40 and 41 at home. So actually, right about a 500 team at home. So go figure.
2-2.
John Russell's probably had a few sleepless nights thinking about that.
I talked to him before the ball game, and any manager that goes through this, an organization that is trying to not only rebuild, but, I mean, from the ground up, it is not easy at the big league level. The Pirates have put a lot of money into their draft picks. They signed 2 first-round picks this year. They put more money than anybody in the game this year into the draft and into scouting.
Yeah, you have to have patience. Russell has that. He's in his 3rd year as their manager.
2-2.
And a longtime baseball guy, John Russell. Played in the big leagues.
Was a catcher in the big leagues.
Caught one of Nolan Ryan's no-hitters. And then managed 10 years in the minor leagues.
Number 6 back in 1990. 10th pitch of the at-bat is a breaking ball. Gabby gets it. It's foul. Angel Hernandez, the first base umpire. Joe West is working home plate. Vic Carapazza is out at second, and Rob Drake, who did a nice job behind home plate last night, he's out at third. Mendez just misses up. Counts full now, 3-2. Edwin and his staff trying to get the Marlins to 500 before the season is done. We were looking back at the scorebook. The Marlins were 4 games over. They had lost Ricky Nolasco. They had lost Josh Johnson. 4 over when they started a series against the Phillies, and that was the ball game where the 2 pitchers, Chris Volstad and Alex Sanabia, started serving their suspensions. And since then, the Marlins have dropped to where they are now at 3 under. Scoreless. All right, here come the Marlins tonight at 78 and 81. Winners last night, 11-9. Emilio Bonifacio in center. Ozzie Martinez gets another start. Logan Morrison busted out last night. Dan Uggla had an RBI double. Gabby Sanchez at first. Chad Tracy at third. And Mike Stan's on a nice run right now, an 8-game hit streak. Brad Davis hits 8th. Adalberto Mendez in the 9 spot against Daniel McCutchen.
Well, there's a look at the 28-year-old right-hander.
Bonifacio runs up and taps it right back to McCutchen. And that's certainly not what Emilio had in mind.
Now he wants to take that ball with him, drag it out toward the second baseman. Here's a look at the Pirate defense with Jose Tabata, Andrew McCutchen, Brandon Moss in that outfield, Pedro Alvarez, Ronnie Cedeno on the left side, Neil Walker, John Bowker over at first base, Chris Snyder, the veteran catcher, behind the plate.
Here's Ozzie now. Martinez had 2 hits last night, and we were talking with Edwin Rodriguez before the ball game, and he concurs with us. The more you see of him, the more you like of him.
Well, he referenced a couple of times that Ozzie is just one of those kids that's a ball player. He knows how to play. He's got good instincts out there, and that's why the more you see him, it kind of grows on you.
Yeah, he does. He's always in the right place at the right time. Doesn't panic defensively. Chops that one to Alvarez, and he gets Martinez by a couple steps. 2 outs here in the first, and up comes Logan Morrison. And now, Tommy, this will be a real test of your theory last night. Your theory at the start of the game last night, this is before Morrison even stepped in the box. Lomo was struggling going into last night, but you thought facing the lefty, it would keep his front side closed, and it would lead to a nice run.
Well, it led to a couple of hits off the lefty, but he also had a triple off a righty last night. So he was thinking about Mahalam for tonight. But I think seeing the lefty last night certainly helped out. He had some good at-bats, and had himself a 3-hit night.
In those 3 hits last night, Morrison with his 6th triple. And for Lomo, this is just his 60th game. But those 6 triples leads the Marlins. He fouls that one back.
That'd be a great trivia question next spring.
Yeah,
we show up in spring training. Who are the 2 top triples hitters on the Marlins? Lomo with 6, Wes Helms with 5.
You think Bonifacio or Hanley, someone with speed.
I'm going to drop that on you next March.
I'll be there.
I'm going to make sure you've been studying over the offseason.
Well, Lomo with the 6 triples also has 19 doubles. 2 homers, 18 RBIs. One-two. McCutchen has a very good changeup, which he honed at the University of Oklahoma. Hometown guy. He grew up in Norman. Was a Sooner. Yankees drafted him in 2006 in the 14th round.
His manager, a Sooner out of Oklahoma.
Well, there you have it. And he came over from the Yankees with the Ross Ohlendorf, Jose Tabata, and Jeff Karstens for Xavier Nady and lefty reliever Damaso Marseille.
On the surface, and I think, another year or so you'll find out, that looked like a pretty good deal for the Pirates.
Morrison drives that ball to right center field. That ball's well hit. It's deep, and it is up against the wall. Lomo's headed for third. Will he get number 7? Yeah! Number 7.
I'm going to start calling that Lomo zone. They were even shading him. If you notice, the right fielder, Brandon Moss, was way over in right center. But this ball was hit so well, Moss couldn't get to it. And as an area out there that Logan Morrison has found to his liking, that 404 sign, once it gets there, head is down, he gets himself to third and hangs on to the bag.
Now, I'm not saying he's a slow man, but he's not a real fast man. But I tell you what, out of the box, he busts it out of the box. He makes good turns. There are a lot of guys that would hit balls like that would settle for a double. Uggla spins out of the way.
Yeah, that's right. He's thinking triple as soon as he gets out of the box.
And if you don't have burner speed, you have to think triple out of the box.
If you have Bonifacio, Hanley, Ramirez speed, you don't have to think triple until you get halfway up the line. Then you can turn it on and you can make it to third base easily.
Uggla takes a changeup down low and the count's 2-0. So he saw a curveball up near his eyes and a changeup down low. Uggla ripped a double down the left field line last night. See if he gets a fastball. Nope, but he dumps it into center field, base hit, and an RBI single by Uggla. 102 driven in this year, and the Marlins are on the board first tonight as well.
I don't know how many times you and I have talked about this, Rich. That was a changeup. A couple of years ago, Dan Uggla doesn't have this kind of swing on a 2-0 changeup. He waited for it. He let the ball get to him. He didn't try to pull it, and he picked up an RBI, and that's exactly why he has over 100 RBIs this year.
Here's Gabby now. He drove in 2 last night. One of his 2 hits last night, a double, and I think the double he hit last night was a great example of how fast this playing surface is right now. I mean, this is the fastest surface in all of baseball. And I'm counting the artificial surface in Toronto and in Tampa or St. Pete. Because cut for football and dry and fast, the infield is fast, the outfield might be even faster. Gabby hit a ball last night to the left of the third baseman, Pedro Alvarez, and it looked like a routine single, and it scooted so quickly.
I think Gabby thought that too.
Yeah. and it scooted so quickly out of the outfield that Jose Tabata couldn't get it, and it went all the way to the wall. McCutchen misses in, and the count's 2-1. McCutchen got to the big leagues last year, made 6 starts with the Pirates. This is his first start since August 25th when he beat the Cardinals. And Gabby just got under that one. He pops it up. Alvarez with Cedeno. And it's Alvarez who makes the catch. But the Marlins get another triple from Lomo and an RBI single from Dan Hugler. Pirate hats in front there? Yes. There's a Pirate fan in a Pirate outfit.
Is that a dog?
You mean the big one?
Yeah.
That's Marmaduke.
Look at that thing. Did Marmaduke need a couple of seats?
Yeah, I think so.
2 tickets?
Oh, hey, look, there's the Dachshund with the batting helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Pedro Alvarez is up against Adalberto Mendez, and the count's 2-0. Alvarez takes down low. Now, at the first Bark of the Park night, Tommy, we didn't see these guys.
I think they heard your call the other night to make sure they got out here this evening.
And they're ready if any foul ball comes up. They've got their helmets on. That's a good look. That is a strong look. Alvarez, a big night last night. I mean, the Marlins had a huge lead, but Alvarez, one of the Pirates that really brought him back, and he hammers that ball, and it's gone. Like a shot. Last night, he hit a 3-run homer in the 9th. So he has homered in 2 consecutive at-bats. Pedro Alvarez, the first-round pick out of Vanderbilt.
Yeah, the Pirates really feel good about the production that Alvarez can give. You put him on a team that had a little more offense, and you're looking 80 or 90 RBIs. He now has an 11-game hitting streak. He's a kid who was born in the Dominican, but went to high school in New York, and then, as you said, on to Vanderbilt for 3 years.
John Bowker and Brandon Moss, and of course Ronnie Cedeno's right around the bend for the Pirates. Mendez misses low, and it's 2-0. It's a pretty good pitch. We do not have Fox tracks. We explained it to you last night, since Monday Night Football has taken over the television compound. We were forced to park our production truck out on the back 40, and it's being powered by a generator with no fiber connection to the stadium, which means a lot of the fun toys that we have, Exmo, Fox Tracks, things like that, we do not have.
Well, much to the delight of Joe West, perhaps. No Fox Tracks. Joe West, known for being consistent, veteran umpire, but maybe not the biggest of strike zones.
Brandon Moss had a couple of hits in last night's ball game. He came in late. The Pirates were down by so many runs that they actually substituted for a lot of their regulars and still came back.
Right now for Mendez, he hasn't really been able to establish a rhythm or any control, so he hasn't used his other pitches too much.
Yeah, the Pirates scored 7 runs in the last 3 innings.
Never in his wildest dreams, well, John Russell probably didn't think it either, but Edwin Rodriguez, I'm sure, didn't think he'd have to use his closer. There's a pretty good pitch there. And that's an example of that strike zone.
Hit hard, Ugla flips on over to first. So 2 outs. Here comes Ronnie Cedeno. Tomorrow night is the final Baker Concrete Super Saturday of the season, and the legendary Steve Miller Band is on tap. Fireworks spectacular as well. It's all presented by American Fasteners. The Marlins and the Pirates at 7:10. Thunder Sticks, courtesy of Metro PCS. Yeah, no one is getting a low strike right now.
And that's a pitch that we've seen all year on Fox Tracks is a strike, that one that's down.
Bonifacio wanders back to the warning track and makes the catch. Cedeno hit one out in that spot last night. Mendez gives up a line drive homer to Alvarez, and we're all tied at 1. Daniel McCutchen getting an emergency start. Paul Mahallam with a knee issue last night, and so McCutchen gets the ball. The Marlins expecting a lefty. They get a righty tonight, and so that put Chad Tracy in the starting lineup.
Yeah, so instead of seeing 3 left-handers in this series, they'll see 2.
Tomorrow night, a right-hander, Charlie Morton, former Atlanta Brave, is 2-11 with a 7.94 ERA. Alex Sanabria makes his final start of the season for the Marlins. Tracy goes down and golfs one into left field.
Tell you what, Chad Tracy putting together a few nice games. That last game that he started in Atlanta on Wednesday. He had 3 hits. He was 3 for 4.
On Sunday, Brian Burris, a lefty for the Pirates. Anibal Sanchez is scheduled to go for the Fish. Here comes Stanton. 3 hits last night, one that traveled about 445, 450 feet. And a breaking ball that misses down low. We've seen Mike make the adjustment just in the last few days. First pitch fastballs that guys were getting ahead of him on. He's been punishing. That pitch right there.
And he acknowledged that, too, when asked that. He knew that he needed to be a little aggressive early, and then, he'll make the adjustment when the pitchers make the adjustment.
McCutchen has that good changeup and a breaking ball. But he stays with a heater, and he gets another strike. It's 1-2.
Rich, how impressive was it when we were down on the field during batting practice? You and I were talking to Edwin Rodriguez, and Mike was taking BP.
Everybody stopped. All the guys taking ground balls, everybody around the cage, and just watched him pump balls into the upper deck. Hits that ball to center field, and McCutchen settles under it and makes the catch. It was very similar to the days when Mark McGwire used to take batting practice in any ballpark around baseball.
Yeah, and pretty soon word is going to get out, and other writers and broadcasters, when they're upstairs, will stop and check out the batting practice of Mike Stanton.
Our Geico quote of the night. Edwin Rodriguez on Mike Stanton. He keeps getting better. The pitches that were getting him out before, now he's hitting those balls back up the middle. And that's the impressive thing, not only that he made the adjustment to start hitting those first pitch fastballs, but he's not pulling off those pitches and trying to hit them 500 feet, Tommy. He's driving the balls up the middle and hitting line drives. Brad Davis is up. Mendez on deck. Davis, a bouncer into left field. That's a base hit. Anything that's hit with any speed in any hole is going into the outfield. We talked about how quick this infield is.
But the only other fast, natural surface infield I can think of was how fast the infield used to get in Texas as the season wore on because of the heat. It was almost like playing on AstroTurf.
And I think if you ask players today the 2 fastest infield surfaces, they'll tell you this one and Arizona. Arizona is another one where,
again, because of the lack of water and the heat there, they open up the roof at night.
It's just tough to grow it thick. Mendez trying to bunt with 1 out here in the second. And that's a foul ball. Mendez was an outfielder before he tried his hand at pitching.
Actually did some catching as well. Has a couple of hits in his brief appearances. Comes into this at bat 2 for 7.
And never had a hit in his long tenure in the minor leagues. Go figure that one out. Self-defense bunt. Bowker flips it over to Walker. And Mendez does his job, and that sets up for Bonifacio. And as we pointed out, it's a fast track on the infield. And so just having a runner at third, Bonifacio will pick up infield hits. So he doesn't have to hit one into the outfield to score a run.
Bonifacio, when he goes and plays winter ball, he usually plays winter ball in the Dominican. Generally, he plays right field. So you would like and hope that Bonifacio will work on his bunting a little bit, but I think he's prove to the organization he's a valuable player because of the many positions he can play.
You almost wish that instead of playing winter ball, he paid a small fee to follow Juan Pierre around for like a month and just go through the bunting drills that Pierre has done countless hours of in his career.
Juan Pierre finishing strong. JP had 4 stolen bases last night. The White Sox beat the Red Sox.
It always seems that no matter where we see Juan Pierre, whether it's with the White Sox or with the Cubs or the Dodgers, that if you get to the ballpark before his team is hitting, he's in the cage and he is bunting hundreds of baseballs. Tracy opened the inning with a single. After Stanton flied to center, Davis singled. Bonifacio is going to get a 3-1 pitch with Ozzie on deck. And a nice job by Bonifacio to load him up.
Yeah, just looking. Juan Pierre had a 3-for-4 night. He's hitting .273. And the stolen bases, he had 3 stolen bases. He has 66 stolen bases on the year. So, always one of our favorites. And certainly, we know for a fact, Bill Beck's favorite.
Hey, when we asked Bill Beck, who's been with the organization since day one, who his favorite Marlin was, he did not hesitate, and he said Juan Pierre. Well, Ozzie pops one up. Bowker coming over towards the dugout, and the Marlins inning ends in foul territory. They leave him loaded in a 1-1 game.
Chat, this will be the final time this year with our In the Dugout writer on FoxSportsFlorida.com, David Villa. Right now, you're conducting one of your online chats. How do people find you? What are they talking about tonight?
Well, if you go to the FoxSportsFlorida.com website, you'll see all the teams' names. And if you go to the Marlins tab, there'll be a drop-down menu, and you'll see where it says chats. You click right there, and it takes you right to the chat.
And you're busy doing that in the press box as you watch the game and keep track. What are people talking about tonight, David?
Everybody in there is really excited about what they've seen from the Marlins this year. I mean, it's been a bit of a disappointing season in the sense that they're not making a push for the playoffs. There's so many talented young players coming back for next year that they're very excited about the group that'll be here in 2011.
Obviously, people are talking about Mike Stanton and his homer last night. Unfortunately, the people who only come to the games here at home haven't seen the prowess on the road that he's shown quite as much. But are they talking about his homer last night?
Absolutely. Everybody's seen what Mike can do on the road. And actually, it was funny. Edwin joked that they told Mike he could wear gray pants at home if it would help him feel a little more comfortable.
What have you learned this year from doing these chats and talking to the fans here at Fox Sports Florida, either on the air here or with your chats that occur?
Well, I've learned that actually the Marlins have a great fan base filled with knowledgeable fans that are actually very interested in the team and how they're progressing.
All right, good to see you, David V, all year long. Great job.
Awesome. Thanks, Craig.
Right. And you can, again, chat with In the Dugout, David V. Go to foxsportsflorida.com and hit the menu tab there, and you will find David V.
I just did it. I just sent him a note at 7.
Are you chatting with David V?
I am. Look, 7:45.
What'd you say?
I said, nice job this year, David V. So there you go.
Now, will he respond to that?
That's what he's paid to do. That's how it works. I assume that's how it works. So we're waiting for David's response. Of course, he gets paid in fun points, like you and I do. McCutchen, good bunter.
Good athlete all around.
Short to bunt, and he takes it down low. Mendez has an out. McCutchen, and then McCutchen. Daniel followed by Andrew. Tommy, there is a poll here on David V's chat page. What's the Marlins' biggest need this offseason? And it has starting pitching, catcher, bench, relief pitching, or other. You want to vote on that? We can do that too.
I would say the first need would be bullpen. I mean, there are needs in other areas, but I would say bullpen. Well, you going to log my vote in?
I am right now.
Okay.
And you know what? The bullpen is leading 100% to nothing. No other category has a vote. Bullpen is 100%.
Well, that's been the season in a nutshell.
And I have to give a shout out to North Carolina State, apparently. One of the chatters wants me to do that. So here's Andrew McCutchen. A shout out to Fort Meade, Florida for Andrew McCutchen. Fort Meade High School. McCutchen, the 11th overall pick of the 2005 draft. And he's the type of guy that the Pirates are cultivating right now. They've been able to cultivate the Pedro Alvarez, the McCutchens, trade for a Tabata. But the biggest challenge in talking to John Russell is cultivating starting pitching. Morrison wanders over towards the line, settles under it, and makes the catch. Nice inning by Mendez. 1, 2, 3 go the Pirates. 1-1. Who are you going to call? 1-877-Marooney. By South Florida Ford. Visit southfloridaford.com for great offers. At my Checkers, little place, big taste. You got to love that, Tommy.
You can't really tell, but we had a shot between innings. I love that Dachshund. It's got a sweater vest on.
Very stylish.
Yeah.
Logan Morrison. Romo pops that one up behind shortstop. Cedeno's out. and he makes the catch. Morrison tripled in the first and scored on an Ugla single. And here comes Ugla with 1 out in the third. Here comes Ugla. Daniel now at 102 RBIs. 32 homers, ties his career high. You know that in these last 3 ball games, he's thinking about setting a new career high. Like to finish at, what was it, 283 or above? I think 283 was his career high batting average.
I'll tell you how consistent Dan has been, too. And that's another thing. We've talked about the 2-out base hits, the RBIs, the hits the other way to drive in runs. He's been consistent. 16 home runs before the All-Star break and 16 home runs after the break.
282 his career high, and that was set his rookie season. I had forgotten what kind of a doubles machine he was his second year in 2007. He had 49 doubles.
Wow.
In 07. The double last night, his 30th this year. And a swing and a miss. And a high fastball.
Yeah, the other thing that you like about Dan Ugla, this for Dan is his 157th game. He played in 158 last year, 146 in 08, 159 in 07, and 154 in 06. He doesn't miss many.
No. And he plays hurt more than people know. Guys that play in that many games, if you say, oh, I played in 155 games, most major leaguers, half of those games, something is hurting.
Yeah, someone who doesn't know, they'll say, well, you just must have been real healthy all year. Well, not really.
Gabby Alvarez spears it and then throws it over the head of Bowker. Alvarez had difficulties last night, and that one really took off on him, both the ground ball and then the throw.
Yeah, he makes a good pick, takes a little time, and then tries to really air it out and airmails it for his 17th error of the year. Good play to pick it, but then overthrows his first baseman, John Bowker. We talk about Logan Morrison running the bases. Gabby Sanchez has run the bases that way all year, too. And I think they're both perfect examples of guys who don't have to have burning speed to be excellent base runners.
We'll keep you updated on the ball games that matter tonight. Tracy off the end of the bat. Cedeno squeezes it. Marlins come up empty in the third. We've played 3. 1-1. league. The Yankees, Rays, Rangers, or Twins. 789-789. That one is driven to left center field. Bonifacio is racing. He's there. He came a long way to get to that ball. He was shaded over in right center, and he chased it down in deep left center.
Yeah, ball had enough hang time, and with his speed, well, look at that speed. Good concentration, and he has those light-footed steps. If you have heavy feet in the outfield, your head's going to bob, and it's going to be hard to pull down fly balls, but nicely done by Bonifacio.
So Tabata is out number 1. Here's Neil Walker.
By the way, talking to Cameron Maben today about his back, saying the best therapy for it right now is heat. And he said, I asked him if it was middle of the season, about how long. He said, 2, 3, 4 days, he probably would be okay to play.
Liner to right. Stanton. And the Pirates have a base runner, a single by Neil Walker. And up comes Alvarez, and the Marlins haven't been able to slow him down much. He's 5 for 6 with 2 homers and 6 RBIs in this series. Yeah, just a reminder, tomorrow night there is no television for the Marlins and the Pirates. A rare no TV game, but we're back for the season finale on Sunday.
We'll be back on Sunday to sign off the 2010 season.
Alvarez with a big cut and fouls it back to the screen. On Marlins Live on Sunday, we will have the 5 top moments from the 2010 season. And as always, we have a nice highlight package of the year in review.
I think the crack staff weighed in on that to jog our memories and help us out.
Marlins get Alvarez out. That's headlines right now.
Good off-speed pitch by Adalberto Mendez, making his first ever appearance, of course, against the Pirates.
Braves and Phillies are playing tonight in Atlanta. For the Phillies, it doesn't mean a whole lot. Kyle Kendrick is starting. For the Braves, they come into tonight with a magic number of 2 in the wild card. As the Giants, their magic number is just 1. There's the wild card. The Padres are in San Francisco to play the Giants in the 3-game series. In the West, the Padres need to sweep that series to force a 1-game playoff.
Yeah, Clayton Richard tonight against Matt Cain.
But the Padres conceivably tonight could lose to the Giants and still be alive in the postseason hunt. While the Giants celebrate, the Padres, if the Phillies beat the Braves, would still be alive in the wild card.
It's interesting how you approach that series. Look at Billy. He's in there with Greg Brown, Bob Walk, former Pirate pitcher. So Billy having a little fun with the visiting TV announcers.
We have yet to get a visit from the Pirate Parrot, who's actually a very good mascot. He's never appeared on your bottom 5 mascot list.
Now, that series in Atlanta for the Phillies is an interesting one. Of course, Charlie Manuel's been there, done that, so he knows what his players need. And if you're a Chase Utley or a Ryan Howard, you may want to get your 3-4 at-bats every night instead of having a couple of days off. You might want to. Obviously, Jimmy Rollins is going to play. He needs the at-bats. He needs to play. You might handle the pitching a little differently. I think Oswalt's going to pitch one of those games, or Hamels. They may just go 5 innings.
And it's Kyle Kendrick who's starting tonight. This was supposed to be a Roy Halladay night. But the Phillies lineup, Rollins, Francisco, Utley, Howard, Worth, Ibanez, Dobbs, and Ruiz.
So the only regular not in there, Ibanez? No, Ibanez is in. Where's Francisco playing?
Victorino is out. Worth is in center. Francisco's in right.
Okay.
So Victorino gets the night off.
They might give one regular a day. a night off.
Later on tonight, when the Padres take the field in San Francisco, they're going up against Matt Cain. Cain is 13-10. Clayton Richard, the lefty, goes for the Padres. Line to right, Stanton is there and makes the catch. And Mendez fortunate because Brandon Moss barreled that one up and hit it hard. Craig Woloshin's son, part of our crack staff. AT&T trivia question. Two players share the Major League record for rookie home runs after the All-Star break. Who are they? Well, who had big years as rookies for home runs? Fred Lynn?
Yeah, Rookie of the Year and MVP.
Well, Mike Stanton has had a nice second half in terms of home runs.
How about this name came up the other day in Atlanta, Andrew Jones.
Stanton drills one into left field, a base hit. So Mike is aboard. He leads off the fourth with a single. Stanton has 17 second half homers, and of course he's tied with Gary Sheffield for the most second half homers in club history. That's not a rookie record, that's the Marlins record.
Yeah, and that base hit now gives Mike a 9-game hitting streak. So that alone tells you how he's been able to get some consistency going with good at-bats and good swings. 9-game hitting streak, he's hit over 400.
Albert Pujols and Troy Tulowitzki are first and second in the second half right now. 21 homers for Pujols, Tulowitzki 18 homers.
But as we said last night, Tulowitzki hit 15 of those in September.
Yeah.
He didn't get that 41st or 42nd or 43rd RBI, though. I think it was Babe Ruth. 43 RBI is the most ever in September. And Tulowitzki ended with 40.
Do you think the Babe may have had a few doubleheaders in September?
He probably had more than a few doubleheaders.
McCutchen up and in with a fastball, and it's 1-1. News around baseball today. The Mets apparently are poised to fire their manager and their general manager, according to multiple sources out of New York. Jerry Manuel and Omar Minaya. Josh Hamilton back with the Rangers in center field.
We'll have to see. Well, that's good news for Texas, and they need him to play this weekend and play healthy. We'll have to see if our Mets insider has any more information on that.
Davis goes after a pitch in the dirt. It's 2-2.
Got some great stuff from our West Coast insider about Buster Posey and the year he's having, the rookie with the Giants.
Jim Thome back in the lineup for the Twins. First time he's been in the lineup for a week. And the Twins got some promising news on the Justin Morneau front yesterday, as he took batting practice and had a workout and felt good. So the hope is that he's ready if the Twins get to the American League Championship Series.
Yeah, you look at some of the teams, and certainly you mentioned Josh Hamilton. He's a concern for the Rangers. They'd love to get the Twins, would love to get Morneau back.
Joe Mauer's got a sore knee right now.
He's had a sore knee for a week.
Mendez drops down a bunt. McCutchen has it. Stanton got a good read and a good jump, so he's at second.
And you hear this term, Rich, and I think sometimes it gets lost in baseball. Baseball is a great game of rhythm, playing all the time. Players are used to playing every night, not too many days off. And when you take that week or so, I know guys feel it if they have a 4-day break for the All-Star break sometimes. And if you're a Joe Mauer, especially a Hamilton, you take that time off, it's really hard to get back in that rhythm.
Stand at second. Bonifacio takes down low from McCutchen.
And then you're obviously going to be facing top-notch pitching in the postseason.
Ground ball in the hole at short. Cedeno fields it and just barely gets Bonifacio. Marlins done in the fourth. We are still 1-1.
Marlins Baseball está disponible en español vía Zap y es presentado por KFC. Aquí en el Sun Life Stadium.
Hi, guys.
Fellas,
Richie, how are you?
Hey, Cookie, Raul.
What's up? How's everything?
Good, good.
Good. So far for Adalberto Mendez, save the one pitch that Alvarez hit out, but the Marlins and the Pirates evenly matched tonight.
Hey, how about Alvarez hitting the cover off the ball in this series, huh?
The guy can swing the bat a little bit.
No question about it. Y aquí un
Slow chopper, Ozzie bare hands, and no chance to get
The head
Cedeno.
first slide, huh?
Sí, a mí no me gusta eso, tirándose a cabeza en primera base.
That's a base hit.
Cookie was just saying he doesn't like that sliding head first at first base.
Nah, not into first base, not into home either.
That's right.
No me gusto. Cookie, what are your Pirate memories back in the day?
Well, I'll tell you what, when Willie Stargell came up to hit, I was in right field next to my right fielder. So
I used to tell.
I didn't go behind him. I didn't want to make it look bad. You know what I mean?
Cookie, I used to tell guys the scariest thing was a man on first base. So as a first baseman, you're holding a runner on.
Oh, goodness, that ball's crushed.
Yep.
That is way up there.
Wow.
Blue seats.
Yes, sir.
And it's 3-1 Pirates.
So you're holding a man on first base. You're on AstroTurf, and you have Willie Stargell or Willie McCovey hitting.
Oh, I'm telling you, that was unbelievable. I'll tell you what, another thing, excuse me, Raul, is that when you saw Roberto Clemente play, you know, you're talking about what a right fielder, what kind of a player he was unbelievable. But you're right, Tommy. I think when you have a McCovey or Willie Stargell, wow.
Yeah, and I think the key to what he just mentioned was that AstroTurf, not that new stuff that we have now that's similar to the conditions of natural grass, but that AstroTurf was basically concrete with a slab of carpet, right, Tommy?
It was hard. It was very hard.
And that's what this field is playing like right now, as fast as it is.
That's right.
All right, guys, have a good show.
You too, guys.
You too, guys.
All right.
Bueno, tremendo batazo de Chris Snyder.
Siriaco is going to pinch hit for the Pirates.
Well, I think because Daniel McCutcheon hasn't started in a while and hasn't started that many games, worked some out of the bullpen. I think John Russell's happy with the 4 innings that he got. So he's pinch hitting, and we'll see the veteran Chan-Ho Park.
And now he's got the lead, a 3-1 lead. There's Park. Mendez with a fastball strikes out Siriaco. First out of the 5th in a 3-1 ball game.
Boy, that home run by Chris Snyder snapped an 0 for 18. He's hit 15 home runs this year. That was his 5th as a Pirate since coming over from Arizona.
Here's McCutcheon. A couple of fly ball outs in this one.
You have that other interesting setup in the American League with Tampa Bay and the Yankees with the same record right now.
Stanton coming towards the line. Makes the catch. All right, AT&T trivia question. Maybe a Kevin Moss is in this. I'm not sure. But I'm going to throw Fred Lynn in. And maybe a Kevin Moss. David Justice and Ryan Braun.
Couple of good ones. David Justice, a big part of those early Braves teams.
Liner to right. Busy night for Stanton. And he makes a nice running catch on that one. But the Pirates take the lead. Chris Snyder, his 15th of the season, snaps an 0 for 18 skid and puts Pittsburgh on top. The 27th of this month. Yeah, it's October. Game 2, Thursday the 28th at Duffy's. You can meet Billy and the Mermaids, win tickets to Marlins Opening Day 2011, and enjoy great food and drink specials at Duffy's Sports Grill, 877 Marlins. Bark at the Park, Part 2. We've seen all kinds of different dogs. Chan-Ho Park comes out of the bullpen, and the well-traveled veteran, winner of 123 Major League games, 123 and 98. And he's been well-traveled lately.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that can pitch in many different roles. Can start and work out of the bullpen. And as you said, he's been with a whole lot of teams lately.
Ozzie Martinez. Park misses outside, 1-1. With the Yankees this year, 27 games. His ERA was in the mid-5s.
Of course, his heyday back in the 90s with the Dodgers, where he really had some solid years as a starting pitcher.
That's where he earned all his wins. He earned all his dollars in Texas.
That's a good point.
Rangers signed him to a ridiculous contract that helped bankrupt the franchise, that and the Alex Rodriguez contract. But the Park contract at the time, a lot of people in baseball shook their head at that, and he did not pitch well for Texas.
And you're absolutely right. His first year in Texas was his best year, and he was 9-8 with a 5.75 ERA. And then he had injuries. He was 1-3. He was 4-7. So they remember him in Texas, but not for his pitching. Safe to say.
Strike to Logan Morrison.
Knows how to pitch. Mixes it up a little bit. Uses his fastball, curve, slider, and change.
Park out of Korea, Gwangju City. Dodgers signed him back in 1994. Been with the Padres, Phillies, Rangers, Dodgers, and as we noted this year, Yankees and Pirates. 3-2 to Lomo with Ugla on deck. And Morrison went after a slider at his feet. Don't see Morrison swing at pitches that far out of the zone much.
No, you don't. And it's one thing that I think we've really enjoyed watching Lomo, his patience at the plate, his knowledge of the zone. Pretty good tight spin on that slider, though, from Chan-Ho Park. But if you think about it, his first 6 years as a Dodger, he won 80 games. So 80 of those wins came in those first 6 years in the big leagues, coming over from Korea.
Dodgers first saw him when he was pitching at Dodger Stadium for the Korean national team. That was 3 years before they signed him. Then again, they saw him at the World University Games in Buffalo. Park misses outside.
Yeah, and you think about it, because McCutchen didn't go 5 innings and the Pirates have a lead, anybody coming out of that bullpen doing a good job has a chance to pick up a win if the lead holds up.
Here's the 2-1 to Ugla. One of the big hurdles he got over early in his career was he had to serve 3 years in the South Korean military, but they waived it after he led the Korean national team to a gold medal in the '98 Asian Games.
Privileges for athletes. Where have we heard that before?
He was the first Korean to sign with a major league club in 15 years and the second in baseball history. "17 long years." One of the most famous athletes ever in Korea. Chan-Ho Park strikes out Dan Uggla. At the Jiffy Lube Marlins Celebrity Golf Classic on Wednesday, the 16th of February at the Parkland Golf and Country Club. Marlins players, coaches, other celebrities will be there. A great day of golf. It all benefits the Marlins Community Foundation. There's the number, 1-877-MARLINS.
He's got the rally helmet on. See?
I think he was taking a nap. Now he's awake. Do the dogs get Scooby snacks when they come to the ballpark? I believe there is a Scooby snack vendor up there in that section. Neil Walker, Pedro Alvarez, John Bowker, Adalberto Mendez. Grounder to first. Gabby has it, steps on the bag. And Walker is out, number one. Craig Minervini has made his way up into the Bark at the Park section.
There are dogs of all sizes. Can you see this baby here? This is, what's his name?
Murphy.
Murphy. I want you guys to guess this big St. Bernard, big Marlin fan, probably the biggest one here. How much Murphy weighs? What do you think? Can you see him?
How much does he weigh?
This dog, can you see him?
I'll go 150.
150. Tommy?
I'm going to guess about 175.
175.
Yeah.
Murphy, maybe, can Murphy look good toward the camera so we can get a look at him? Okay, now here's the answer. How much?
220.
220.
Wow.
Look at this baby. How you doing? Does he like baseball?
Oh, he loves baseball. Yeah.
Tell me about coming out on a night like tonight.
Oh, it's just wonderful. You know, see all these dogs, and it's so much fun. He loves it.
He's having a good time. The dog's having a great time. How much does your dog weigh?
3 pounds.
Here's 3 pounds right here. And what's this dog's name?
Veruca Salt.
Okay. Look, can you see the size? This dog is what, about 80 times bigger than this dog? 70 change. All right. We're gonna go to where is the other dog? Is he up that way? With the helmet? Oh, here, right here. Okay, thank you. All right.
Veruca Salt from the Willy Wonka stories.
All right, and I just want to know what happened to the ice cream on the... Was there ice cream under these helmets?
Yes, many years ago. So we've been coming for a while to all the Bark in the Parks. Hello, Rich and Tommy. We know you love the catcher, Doxy. So.
No catch. Bonifacio picked it up.
What are the dogs' names here?
This is Junior. He's 10 years old, and this is Quiche. And they're Dachshund Rescue South Florida dogs, actually. So from the Dachshund Rescue in South Florida.
It's great. And I know you can't see them right now, but it's amazing, guys. They wear the helmets and they don't take them off at all?
Especially when they can smell all the food. It's like their mind can't think of two things at once, but there's so many great smells for them here, so it kind of keeps them. Although right now they're kind of, I think this is old hat for them. So
old hat, so to speak. One of them has the helmet on backwards too, which is very cute. All right, let's go back over to Rich and Tommy, guys.
Hey, just tell those guys, tell the Dachshunds we appreciate them coming out. We love them.
Are those? Do you think those are helmets that once had ice cream?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And I suspect that both those dogs enjoyed them.
Now's the time you have to be careful that things don't get out of hand. One out, the Pirates have a couple of men on. You want to keep it a 3-1 game. It's one of the reasons that the hopper loosening up in the Marlins bullpen.
Moss an 0 for 2 night. Liner into right center field. That's going to score at least one. Round third is Alvarez headed to the plate. Bonifacio cuts it off and holds Moss to a single. But the Pirates stretch their lead to 4-1. And you're right about letting it get out of hand right now. Here comes Edwin.
Well, Brandon Moss has had some good swings. Remember, he lined out to right field in the 4th inning. Another good swing here. Not too many hitters were fooled tonight. There were some hard hit balls that were outs. Pirates have 7 base hits, and that's going to be all for Adalberto Mendez.
Bert Badenhop comes in a 4-1 Pirate lead in the 6th. Our Maroon called to the pen.
Truckle Bay. Who you gonna call? Marooney!
Getting. Cedeno has flied out and has an infield single. And chase back at first is Brandon Moss. Pirates have a run here in the 6th. Adalberto Mendez goes 5 1/3. That ground ball is going to get into right field, the base hit. And so the Pirates tack on another run. That goes to Mendez's line. Cedeno has 2 hits, and here comes Snyder, who put one up in the blue seats in the 5th.
But a guy that, if you can get him to hit the ball on the ground, you have a chance for that double play. Catcher does not run well. the last 2 outings now for Mendez. They total up the innings in Milwaukee, and tonight 7 1/3 innings, 13 hits and 11 runs, and he's still responsible for Moss out there at second base.
5 home runs as well. Remember, he gave up 4 homers in Milwaukee. Ryan Braun hit a couple. Prince Fielder hit 1. Lorenzo Cain hit 1. Make that 6. There's 2 tonight. Chopper in the hole. Ozzie out there. Uggla's turn. Yes, nice double play.
Nicely done.
Uggla made the turn. Ozzie started it. And the Marlins get out of the inning, but 2 more runs for the Pirates. 5-1. Were it not for a checkers double play.
What a nice pick by Ozzie Martinez. He's got a goal in the hole. Then he has to make a good feed to Dan Uggla. He does. Good footwork by Uggs, and it's a checkers double play of the game. Started nicely and finished even better. A little pick by Gabby Sanchez at first base, too. That was a big double play, and that certainly helped out the Marlins and the Hopper. But it's a good turn by Ozzie.
Gabby Sanchez will lead it off. Chad Tracy and Mike Stanton. And it's Chan-Ho Park's second inning. Between innings, I was shuttling through the Chan-Ho Park story.
It's quite a story, too.
I had forgotten the rookie hazing incident when Park was with the Dodgers. He didn't understand the whole tradition. The Dodgers, he came back from a game, came back into the clubhouse, and that was the day that the Dodgers hazed the rookies. And I guess they cut his suit up into small pieces. And then had him ready to go to get dressed up and jump on the plane. And I guess they didn't do that in Korea.
I can picture his shocked look when he saw it.
Yeah, he threw a plate of food, slammed a chair down. They had a disco outfit for him. Tabata with a long run, and it ends up foul. He was so angry he did not dress up in the disco outfit. He wore his uniform pants and a warm-up jacket because they trashed his suit and left him a disco suit.
See, now that I think about that, that would even be hard for the interpreter to explain to him.
There's a roller in the hole at short, cut off by Alvarez, and he just got Gabby. Steve Cishek in the bullpen. As he warms up, Tracy comes up. The rest of the story is the next day.
There has to be the rest of the story.
The next day, he apologized to the team and explained through his interpreter that he did not understand that they were welcoming him to the team. And he said, "I'm happy they like me."
See, in contrast to that, I can't picture players, not necessarily to Korea, but going over to Japan in their rookie year. I can't imagine that the Japanese players in the Asian culture and the respect they have for the game, that they would do any rookie hazing.
Yeah, that's a real good question. The next time we see Charlie Manuel or anyone that has played over in Japan,
that'd be a good question to ask someone who's gone over there and played. What happened their first year?
You don't think they're dressed up as Hooters waitresses?
No.
Here's the 0-2. And it's foul back and out of play. Come on, it's a universal language, that Hooters.
Not touching that one, Rich. But I can still picture Dontrelle Willis and Miguel Cabrera in Hooters outfits.
That's right. You know what I'm talking about. Now, when did that start? When you were a rookie?
They didn't do that then, no.
No?
I never remember anything, actually.
Did you, as a veteran, ever haze rookies that way? Tracy hits a high fly ball to right center field. McCutchen seems to have it under control.
Not to the degree that it's done today. I'm not sure when that started. I would say more in the 80s, maybe mid to late 80s.
I give great props to Gabby Sanchez, who was hazed twice, right?
Gabby took it 3 times, I think, for Gabby.
Oh, you're right, because tail end of last year as well as 08.
Yeah, Gabby did a heck of a job, and right, he deserves props because he went along with it, and maybe didn't really have to. See, I have one rookie story, but they're 2 outs and 2 strikes. But remind me to tell you what we did to rookie left-hander Randy Lurch with the Phillies upon him winning his first game.
Well, Stan gets on base, we get the story.
Yeah.
It's that simple. That's out. Joe West didn't flinch.
Yeah, Snyder was right there with the target, but the target was off the plate.
Stanton fouls it off, and it's 2-2.
In hindsight, I could have told the story now.
Yeah, but you know what? Better safe than sorry. You can see Snyder's got his fingers taped for pitchers to see a little bit better.
A few pitches away. That time Park tried to come inside.
Mike tonight is flied out and singled. He has hit in 9 straight games now. 4 hits in this series. Park in no real hurry. And the 2-2 coming. Yeah, you could have finished the story and started on another rookie story.
Could have had another one, yeah. Randy Lerch, a left-hander.
You're starting it, huh?
Yeah, well, he won his first game as a major leaguer in Chicago, Wrigley Field, day game. And the team flew to St. Louis. Got there reasonable hour, not too far a flight.
Are you setting the stage or are you telling the story?
I'm setting the stage.
Okay, good.
Because you know that it's not going to be completed if I tell you I'm starting the story.
And Joe West is telling Chan Ho Park he's got to pick up the pace or he'll call a ball on him. And so Joe was thinking the same thing that we were thinking. Look at Park. He went to the rosin bag and he's ready to go. He didn't want to give up a ball to Mike Stanton. Fastball struck him out. And we'll get that Randy Lerch story when we return. 5-1 Pirates after 6. Nice. There's the sweater vest. It's just a nice touch. Let's head out to Craig Minervini. Craig?
Thank you very much, Rich. With Kathy Jacomi from the Broward County Humane Society, the big benefactor from this night and also the first Bark at the Park. How does your group benefit from tonight?
Well, there's a couple different ways. We benefit, obviously, financially. $6 of every dog ticket that we sell goes to the Humane Society of Broward County, in addition to all the exposure we get and all the wonderful animals and our donors that get to come out, dress up their dogs, and come to a baseball game. So it's a wonderful way to give exposure to our adoptable animals, and that's what we want to do. If you can visit us.
Yeah, how do people adopt and get it out?
You can come to our shelter at 2070 Griffin Road in Fort Lauderdale, or you can visit us at humanebroward.com. All of our animals that are up for adoption are on our website as well.
So you can look at the pictures and...
You can look at the pictures and then decide if that's what you want and come down, fill out an application, and get your forever friend.
Can you estimate how many dogs are here tonight?
We would probably say at least 1,000.
Another great night.
Thank you. You too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Kathy. What's this dog's name here? Dutch, making his appearance here on the Marlins game. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Craig, it's always a great night here. This is the second one that the Marlins have done, and the first
one over 1,000.
Yeah, the first one 1,600 dogs, and this one over 1,000. So that's pretty cool. Andrew McCutcheon goes down and gets a breaking ball and lines it into left.
So, Rich, as I was saying,
Randy Lerch.
Randy Lerch won his first game. I think he was out of the bullpen, and he might have started in Chicago. And the team flew to St. Louis, so we all, a few of the veterans, we're trying to play a little joke on Randy, and we go, hey, why don't you meet us tonight? There are a couple of places that we're going to be. There's a really, really nice bar called the Famous Bar. Well, that was a department store. There's a department store in St. Louis called the Famous Bar. So we said, if we're not there, we'll be at the top of the arch. They got a great little lookout area, looks over the Mississippi River. but it's not even open at night. So we convinced him that that's where we were going to be, and for him to meet us in one of those two places.
There's a grounder in the right field. That's a base hit. McCutchen going to stop there. Stanton has shown off his arm lately. He has 10 assists already.
So those were the kinds of things you did to rookies.
Did he show up at either place?
I'm sure he did. We weren't there.
This infield is probably not the infield. If Hopper got to choose any stadium to pitch in baseball right now, this would be last on his list. A lightning quick infield. Hopper would want to be pitching in one of those central cut, Milwaukee, Wrigley Field.
Even though we saw a little difference in Milwaukee this year, the hard dirt right out in front of the plate.
Baden-Hop misses outside to Neil Walker. Hey, there's Chris Resop. Former Marlin. Pirates have a pair of familiar names to Marlin fans, Resop and LaRue, a couple of Chris's. Another ground ball that gets through the outfield. Stanton picks it up. McCutchen is held. Stanton airmails it. And it rebounds right to home plate. That's like arena baseball there, just right off the pads and back to Brad Davis. But the bags are loaded now.
Yeah, this is a little frustration for Burke Baden-Hop because he's doing what he does. He's getting ground balls, and all three base hits have been ground balls, but they've just found holes. One to the left side and two to the right side.
And now he has to face Alvarez. Alvarez 2 hits, including a homer. 2 homers against Mendez. Mendez, as we pointed out, 6 homers allowed in his last 2 starts. 7 1/3 innings. Hopper drops in a strike.
So the infield at double play depth, and remember, Hopper got the double play ball in the 6th inning from Snyder.
6 for 8 is Alvarez in this series. 2 homers, 6 RBIs. Breaking ball, a strike. 0-2. Meet the Pirates. That would be McCutchen, Jose Tabata, Neil Walker. Tabata and Walker are rookies. McCutchen was a rookie last year, and Alvarez is a rookie this year. And that's one of the things that John Russell told me today. He said, the record is awful, and that was our Geico quote the other night. You can't defend the record, he said, but the good news is that guys like Tabata, Walker, Alvarez are all getting a lot of at-bats in the big leagues. Swing and a miss.
Nicely done. A little changeup from the Hopper. And Russell's a patient guy. He managed 10 years in the minor leagues before getting an opportunity up here.
It's kind of like the Marlins were in 2006, except for the starting rotation. Remember, the Marlins had young kids everywhere, but they had
the 4 rookies with 10
or more wins.
Yeah.
And that helped them make that second half push that actually got them over 500. They're the first team in Major League history to ever be 20 under and then work their way back to over 500.
Bottom line, if you're a young player and you're coming up in the Pirates or the Marlins organization, you're going to get a chance.
It's a foul ball.
There are a lot of organizations that they're going to go get a high-priced free agent as opposed to maybe giving that young kid an opportunity to get 400 or 500 at bats.
King of the comebacker. Easy there, Hopper. You almost got Gabby killed. 5-1 Pirates. Mets for a 3-game weekend series. It's the last season, thank goodness, in this big football stadium before the Marlins in 2012 will move into their new ballpark. It's brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. The game countdown, Tommy, is down to, let's see, 83? That's what's up on the wall right now. Brad Davis takes a strike.
Well, we'll have 81 home games next year. So 2 more home games after tonight.
Park misses down low. Those are, 2 questions there. Who's going to be the last to pull down number 1? And then who's throwing out the first pitch in the new ballpark? And we've asked a couple of times, and I'm not sure if it's clear whether the Marlins will open on the road or at home. Oftentimes with a new ballpark,
I think
teams
on the
will
road.
open on the road.
Yeah, I think on the road it just gives them a couple of extra days.
Yep.
The other thing, I remember when we had Claude Delorme on with us, we were asking about the possibility of an exhibition game. And there might be, maybe a late spring training game. Just to kind of get the kinks out.
A lot of times what teams will do in stadiums is they will have a college game. Like a local university will play a college game just as a dry run for the scoreboard, for all of the things in the stadium.
I'm sure the Hurricanes would be up for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you get Miami and FIU or FAU.
Think about first pitches thrown out as Scott Cousins is going to pinch hit here. How about Charlie Huff throwing out the first pitch?
That's a great idea.
Now I've already we're going to give our viewers 6 months to work on this. I've already come up with a topic for our first email Tuesday,
which is against the Nationals.
Who should pull down the last number, and who should then throw out the first pitch? It doesn't have to be the same person.
Park misses outside, and he runs the count to 2-1. Marlins trying to get something going in the bottom of the 7th.
I tell you, they let Park hit because he's throwing so well. He led that inning off last inning, but he's had faced 7 hitters, retired all 7, has 4 strikeouts.
Cousins with the count at 2-2. Full count, 3-2. Bonifacio on deck. Cousins swings and misses at a breaking ball. Chan-Ho Park is throwing well.
His slider has been tough to pick up, but you can barely see rotation. You can tell by the way the hitters are swinging. Starts out, you think fastball, and then just a little drop right at the end. So Chan-Ho Park has he's auditioning to get a job next year right now.
Bonifacio in this one is 0 for 3. Out trying to bunt for a hit back in the first. Actually 0 for 2. He walked in the second. But the Marlins don't have a hit since the 4th. And that's when Daniel McCutchen was in there. Park has retired all 8 that he's faced. Little pop up. Cedeno runs it down. The Marlins have been stopped cold by that man, Chan-Ho Park. 10,000 fans get a 2011 magnetic schedule courtesy of U Health. You can stay after the game for a special closing day party at the Strike Zone with players and special guests. (5-1). The Pirates on top of the Marlins in the 8th. Steve Cishek comes in for the Fish. You saw Cishek pulling a little piece of paper out of his pocket. I'm sure he's got a scouting report on the guys that he's facing. Brandon Moss, Ronnie Cedeno, or Chris Snyder, or maybe some last-minute instructions from Randy St. Clair.
Well, I'll tell you what, probably not. but I will say that every once in a while, and I think Ryan Braun did it his rookie year, especially when he was learning to play left field. An outfielder will do that. He'll have, you know how you see a quarterback have the plays on his wrist? An outfielder will have the positioning for the different hitters just to kind of help him out when he's out there.
Was it Todd Jones or Joe Borowski that used to do that? He'd come out of the pen and have the scouting report in his back pocket and every now and then reach in and pull it out.
I want to say Joe Borowski, but it's one of those two. I'm not sure.
Cishek facing Moss, who has an RBI single. Adalberto Mendez started, went the first 5 1/3, and all of the runs charged to his line. 1-2 breaking ball, strike 3 called. So a nice pitch by Cishek.
That we saw Steven Cishek have 2 nice innings in Milwaukee.
Finished the ball game in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was a little different outing for him. He came in, remember, with the bases loaded. Walked a batter, but then was able to get out of the inning.
Here is Cedeno, and he fouls one off, and it's 0-1. We'd like to tip our cap tonight to Jonathan Berkman, the high home operator, working his final home game, and Craig Woloshin, the low first cameraman. 2 of our best. Stanton under it. 2 quick outs for Cishek. Of course, like cold hard blast. And this was a blast. This is Chris Snyder on a breaking ball, and he puts it in the blue seats.
Yeah, that ball was launched by Snyder, his 15th home run of the year.
Snyder, the veteran catcher, long time of the Diamondbacks. Cishek gets a strike. Marlins down by 4 here in the 8th.
I think an example, Cishek making his 3rd appearance now of a young player, hitter or pitcher, making an impression, a good impression.
That may come back fair. It does. Chris Snyder.
That had a ton of spin on it.
Snyder watched, and all he could do, watch this. Oh, good English. For spotlight on Park and his 3 scoreless innings. He is poised, Tommy, to become the all-time winningest pitcher of Asian descent. He's tied with Hideo Nomo at 123 wins.
Well, I'll tell you what, we talked about it at the time because the starting pitcher, Daniel McCutcheon, went 4 innings. Not enough to qualify for the win. That if the Pirates held up the lead, they've added on a little bit, that somebody could come in and take over. Well, I'll tell you what, Chan-Ho Park has been tremendous, and he certainly would be the one to pick up the win if the Pirates go on and win this. Evan Meek comes on to work here in the 8th inning.
As you saw from our Mass Mutual in-game box score, not a lot of offense for the Marlins, especially since that first inning. Evan Meek, an all-star this year. And Ozzie fouls one back. '68 appearances, a career high for Evan Meek. That's a ground ball that's fair and into the corner. Ozzie races around first. And a leadoff double for the Marlins rookie shortstop. A good way to start it.
And he gets a nice hanger. You always love to see that hanging breaking ball. He stays back on it. And with this terrifically fast infield, gets it past the third baseman, Pedro Alvarez.
Logan Morrison now, Dan Uggla to follow, then Gabby Sanchez. The Marlins down 4 with nobody out here in the 8th. The field is in a great condition for a comeback. Hit some hard ground balls, put a few in the gaps. Morrison hit one in the right center for a triple back in the first. Popped out, struck out since. Meek misses up. Meek had a great start to the season. In April, his ERA was 0.60. 1.17 in May, 1.32 in June, 1.88 in July, but then a 7.20 ERA in August. This is low and in. It's 3-0. Uggla waits. Fastball has a natural cut to it. Justin Thomas. It's a strike. Morrison comes back. And it's 3-2. 23,124 attendance tonight. 701 dogs.
Notice Logan Morrison admitting mistake to Joe West, even though it may have been a ball, but came back and said, "Hey, my fault."
Morrison fouls it off. And it's still 3-2. The Phillies are not going quietly in Atlanta. They lead 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Little tapper back to the mound. Meek has it. Morrison is out. And although things look bleak for the Padres out west as they open tonight, 3-game series in San Francisco, if the Padres take 2 of 3 from the Giants and the Phillies take 2 of 3 from the Braves, That's a one-game playoff for the wild card, right?
So then all is not lost.
No.
So then they still are alive in the wild card, the Padres.
Right.
Well, they'll have it there in front of them because they'll know what the Braves have done when they take the field. And I'm sure they'll be rocking in San Francisco.
Oh yeah. There'll be some Panda hats going.
Panda hit a splashdown last night in McCovey Cove.
That's about the 5th sequence of signs for poor Chris Snyder. Meek steps off.
You know, the other thing I saw, I've been kind of keeping track of it because we were just in Milwaukee. Last night, Milwaukee beat the Mets. And Casey McGee and Corey Hart each reached 100 RBIs. So that gives them 3 players. McGee, Hart, and Braun, all with over 100 RBIs. And if Fielder had had a normal year, he'd have been over 100.
And if the Brewers had any kind of rotation, they would have challenged the Reds with all the runs that they scored and all the offense that they had. They had Giovanni Gallardo, and that's about it. Now Randy Wolf had a good second half.
Yeah, he had a decent year.
He struggled in the first half. He had a good second half. Ugly takes that breaking ball out, and it's 2-2.
Yep, Milwaukee 4th in the league in runs. The Reds 1st, the Rockies 2nd, the Phillies 3rd.
Rays are losing 4-0 to Kansas City in the 4th inning. And the Yankees in Boston still delayed by rain up in Boston. That's the last thing the Yankees want to have happen is a rain out tonight and have to have a doubleheader Saturday or Sunday in games that they have to win and throw some of their frontline guys and then make what is right now kind of an iffy rotation. Make it a little shakier. Ugly takes a 3-2 pitch. And Walker makes a nice running catch. Finally drops to his knees to get it.
You almost thought this ball was going to slice away from Walker, but he stayed with it. Nobody touched him, so he was able to get up and run another 5 yards.
Yep. He was a great wide receiver in high school. He was a star in
you can see why
Pennsylvania.
Concentration as he had on that.
Well, Marlins got a leadoff double, but so far they've been unable to budge Ozzie off second. Meek can really rush it up there.
Yeah, you get into that red light area. You know he's throwing it pretty hard.
'97.
Of course, the Pirates haven't had a whole lot of opportunities.
Especially on the road.
But Meek has 4 saves.
And went foul back to the screen. Joel Hanrahan has 6 saves. Meek 4 of 10. As a team, the Pirates have 31 saves. They're 31 of 48.
Yeah, just looking at their wins on the road since the All-Star break. They had 1 in St. Louis, 1 in Cincinnati, 1 in Chicago, and 2 in Colorado.
Two to Gabby.
Evan Meek has brought this game to a screeching halt with his pace and going 3-2 on just about every hitter.
Joe West is ready to go out there and tell him to speed it up just like he did to Chan Ho Park. Gabby works a walk. It's a good at bat. He fell behind in the count. And now is aboard. Here comes Chad Tracy. We told you this could be a record-setting win for Chan Ho Park. Marlins trying to come back against the Pirates All-Star Evan Meek.
Well, you get again to that age-old adage. Chan Ho Park was cruising, was throwing unbelievable, even hit for himself. So why did John Russell take him out for Evan Meek? I'm sure they have a plan, but it looked like Park could have cruised for 2 more innings. And there's no sense resting him. He's going to have 5 or 6 months to rest in the off season.
Tracy pulls that ball on the ground. Walker smothers it and throws him out. Marlins lead 2 in the 8th and are still down 5-1. Tonight, as we look at our Mass Mutual in-game box score, just about every Pirate has a hit, except the, even the pitcher spot has swung the bat well. Even the Pirates don't have a hit there. It was Chan-Ho Park who had a line drive out to center. Alex Presley, whom we saw the other night, stands in and takes a strike from Cishek. Presley then the top of the order. Andrew McCutchen, Jose Tabata. Counts 0-2.
Good movement on his fastball. Good slider from Steven Cishek. That one got away from him.
Yeah, you noted that he's looked good in the brief time that we've seen him, and that will do two things. It opens the organization's eyes so that when they get to spring training, they'll want to see more. And it also has to give Cishek some confidence going into spring training that, you know what, I can get outs in the big leagues.
Yeah, you got a young guy who actually started the season in low A ball, you know, with hopes of maybe getting to Jupiter, high A. Well, he ended up going from low A to double A, and then made his major league debut on September 26th.
Two and two. Presley, the Ole Miss product. That's a spring training question we've got to ask Chris Coughlin if he and Presley were teammates.
We have to have Cogs get word to us somehow if he's checking in or watching.
Knowing Cogs, he's at the gym right now rehabbing the knee.
He's 3-a-days. He's on 3-a-days now.
Here's the 2-2. And he got him. Nice changeup. So Cishek gets a strikeout. He's retired all 4 that he's faced. And here comes McCutchen with Tabata on deck. There is Joel Hanrahan. Hanrahan with his 3.72 ERA. As I noted, he's got 6 saves. Braves have tied the game in Atlanta.
Right now, the
Phillies.
Braves have the Phillies right where they want. Tie game, 6th inning. They're just starting to put their move on.
Pirates were really a mystery team for the Marlins until August. That's when the Marlins first saw the Pirates. Ventured into Pittsburgh in the middle of August.
I think next year it's a little different. The Marlins see the Pirates in April. A 3-game series right here. April 19th, 20th, and 21st. But then don't venture to Pittsburgh until the 2nd week of September.
One similarity to the schedule is the Marlins, I believe, last road series is in Milwaukee.
You know the similarity that I found in the schedule last year and this year? They each have magnets on the back.
Very similar. That one fouled. The Marlins have road games in Oakland and in Texas. They will play the Angels and Seattle. And I think the Seattle series is still at a to-be-determined site. San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Vancouver have been the two sites talked about.
Going to be a tough finish looking at the schedule next year. 5 of the last 6 weekends are on the road. In Chicago, in Atlanta, in Pittsburgh, in Washington, in Milwaukee.
That's what happens when you share a stadium with 2 football teams. That's going to be a tough one for Bonifacio to get to. He got a hand on it. McCutcheon was thinking triple. And Bonifacio runs it down. That's a fast man right there.
Well, McCutcheon had been held hitless last night. First 3 ABs tonight. That singled in the 7th inning. Hits a hanger and hits it well. Good play by Bonifacio. He just knocked it down with his bare hand. And you're right. If he gets by him, McCutcheon's at third base.
Tabata, and it's 0-1. Tabata tonight, a 1-for-4 night. Pirates have 12 hits in this game, and the Marlins just flat stopped hitting.
Yeah, Chan Ho Park had something to do with that.
A lot to do with that. Tabata and Walker, remember, are trying to both finish over 300 and try to be the first pair of Pirate rookies to do that since the 1800s.
And right now, Tabata is at 305. Walker with a couple of hits tonight's at 301. That's pretty amazing when you think of all the great players and hitters.
What was that guy's name? Ginger Beaumont?
Yeah, that have not Ginger Baker. Ginger Beaumont.
Or Ginger Rogers. Ground ball, Ugla. 2 outs now.
Ginger Baker with cream, right?
I was thinking more along the lines of Ginger from Gilligan's Island. Getting thumbs up from the crack staff on that one. Walker now, runner at third is McCutcheon. Cishek catches the outside corner. Were you on it with the cream reference there?
Yeah, Ginger Baker was the drummer. Of course, Eric Clapton.
Did Ginger Baker also predate Clapton's? Was he also with, was it Derek and the Dominoes?
I don't think he was.
Okay.
I don't think. That was early Clapton. Some guy named Derek and Eric Clapton.
And the Dominoes.
Yeah.
Two and one to Neil Walker. Count evens at 2-2. Mets and Nationals are tied 1-1, as well as the Marlins trying to finish at 500, which is looking bleak right now, down 5-1 in the ninth. 2-2. Oh, wow. Cishek makes the catch, robs Walker of a hit, saves a run. And the Marlins go to the bottom of the ninth, down by 4. Us at Geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. And by Homestead Miami Speedway, 3championshiptrack.com. Well, it's come to this now. If the Marlins want to finish at 500, they've got to score 4 runs here in the bottom of the ninth because the Pirates are up 5-1. Joel Hanrahan is on. And he pumps in a strike to Mike Stanton. Hanrahan, the former National. You see the year that he's turned in. Hanrahan kind of stumbled off the mound on that.
Yeah, pretty good stuff, Joel Hanrahan. Fastball can get into the mid-90s. Good slider. The best sliders we saw tonight were from Chan Ho Park.
And as you noted, if you're a back to the bullpen guy on a team that has lost 103 games, you don't have many opportunities to come in the quote-unquote role that you are as an 8th inning, 9th inning guy.
And even for Hanrahan, a situation like this isn't a save situation.
5 second-half road wins.
And all of a sudden, after the way the Marlins played the last few road games, really in the entire road trip, the last 4 road games, 3 of those games scoring 1 run. 2 times in Atlanta, once in Milwaukee. It looked like things were perking up with the 11 runs last night. And I think we've seen this a little bit this year, inconsistencies like that. We've seen the team stagnant in scoring. Then they have a big game, 9 or 10 runs, and then go back to scoring 2 or 3.
Davis to center. It's falling, but McCutchen is on the job, and he makes a running catch. And the Marlins down to their last out here in the 9th inning. Hector Luna is that, a Toyota Trend. Dropped only 2 home series to the Pirates since 2000. Of course, this is a 4-game series, and this is only game 2, but this would be loss number 82 for the Fish. As I was starting to say before that great catch by Cishek, the other thing the Marlins are trying to do is finish ahead of the Mets. The Mets at 77 and 82, the Marlins at 78 and 81. Mets and Nationals 1-1 in the 10th.
They also came into this game 44 and 45 under Edwin. So a loss tonight, they'd have to win the next 2 to finish 500 under Edwin Rodriguez, who I think has learned a lot and has proven to himself that he can manage at this major league level.
Luna went, and the ball game's over, just like that. On a swing that Luna could not check, the Pirates have defeated the Marlins 5-1. Adalberto Mendez takes the loss, and Chan-Ho Park becomes the winningest pitcher of Asian descent